unsettling dispute why the city is putting a stop to construction at an oversized home in Nutana. A sweet season for the Saskatoon Berries, the team taking home a league championship. And setting his sights high, a Saskatoon gymnast strives for the Olympics.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. A person had to be rescued after becoming trapped in the grate of a large drainage pipe in Saskatoon's Silverwood Dog Park. Saskatoon firefighters were called to the former entrance of the park at about 8 p.m. Friday night for a report of a person trapped in the grating of a large drainage pipe. Crews set up rope systems to help lift him out. He was turned over to Medivy paramedics for medical treatment. Much of the northern area of the dog park is an open excavation site with construction underway repairing 2 underground pipelines in the area. A woman from the U.S. has died following a rollover west of Shelbrook. RCMP say a car and an SUV collided on Highway 3 near Mont Nebo Friday night just before 9:30. The woman driving the car, a 75-year-old woman from South Carolina, died at the scene. The driver of the SUV was sent to hospital with serious injuries. RCMP say as of this morning at 8 o'clock, 72 people have died in 59 crashes on roadways policed by Saskatchewan RCMP. The province says it has confirmed a bear it euthanized was the animal involved in a fatal attack in northern Saskatchewan last month. Jay and Deb McDonald were identified by friends as the couple killed in the attack July 17th. They were visiting a cottage at McTavish Lake about 90 kilometers north of La Ronge on July 15th when it happened. A bear was located and put down a couple of days later. An necropsy performed on the animal has confirmed it was the animal that attacked the McDonalds. The Ministry of Community Safety says it will not be providing any further updates on the incident. Efforts are underway to honor a woman who was killed north of Weyburn last year, struck by a bullet while traveling on a highway. As Mick Favel tells us, a fundraiser has been launched to raise money in hopes of naming part of the community's new Humane Society after her.
With the 1 year of the shooting death of Tanya Myers outside of Weyburn fast approaching, a fundraising campaign is underway to name a section of the new Weyburn Humane Society after Myers.
Well, she didn't just like cats, she loved cats. And so, I really wanted to find a way to, honor her memory and, honor how she lived her life.
On the evening of September 12th, 2025, Myers was in a vehicle approaching Weyburn when it was struck by a bullet. Myers was fatally hit. Around the same time, another vehicle was struck by a bullet on the same stretch of road. Warrow was in that other vehicle.
It's been a lot, but, I'm just one small piece of the puzzle, and I really want to make sure that, I do my part to help her be remembered. And, it's definitely been interesting trying to figure out why this all happened.
This is the new Weyburn Humane Society, which will be opening up next month. Myers was no stranger to the animal shelter. A number of times she picked up stray cats, nursed them to health, and then brought them to the Humane Society.
I really hope that people will, step up to the plate and help Tanya's dream come true. She would be so excited about this building. She would, I wish she could see it because she would be so excited for the cats and what they're going to have.
Warrow is looking to raise $30,000 in total, which would be enough to rename one of the 2 cat rooms after Myers. A fitting way to remember and celebrate a local animal enthusiast for many years to come.
For our community and everyone who's been following the story, just to see something positive come from something so tragic because, through no fault of her own, it just happened and it's so unfair.
There is no deadline for Warrow, but she hopes to reach the goal in time for Myers' birthday on August 30th. Mick Favel, CTV News, Weyburn.
Jeff, it was a warm day today, and it looks like we have a warm week ahead.
We do. There won't be a lot of variation in temperatures, it seems, though, depending on your locale, but it looks like the good news is for those people who were hoping for sunnier and drier and warmer temperatures, those conditions are certainly on the way. We do have some spotty showers, or at least a line of storms making its way through southern Saskatchewan. We might see something up in the far north, but ultimately we're looking at some pretty fair conditions as we make our way into the next few days and into the weekend as well. Details on that a little later on.
It's been a sweet season for the Saskatoon Berries. Last night, the team took home the WCBL title, making this year an historic one. Hallie Mandrick has the story.
The Saskatoon Berries are Western Canadian Baseball League champions. How about that?
In a final score of 11-1 against the Sylvan Lake Gulls, the Berries took the WCBL series in a 2-game sweep at their home field.
Crazy, just the feeling of winning it all and just doing it with a great group of guys. Seeing so many people from Saskatoon too, just congratulating me. So seeing the city behind everybody was amazing.
This is the first time that the Berries have won since joining the league in 2024. The team won the Harry Hollis Memorial Trophy in front of a packed crowd at Cairns Field on Sunday evening, and postseason MVP Wesley Shackelford says, while the team is relatively new, the fan base is strong.
It was definitely a surreal experience, especially in the postseason. See how many people would show up to the games. Breaking the attendance record, 2,500 people is definitely the most amount of fans I've ever played in front of. And they were awesome from start to finish this season, just showing up every day.
The Berries went 38-18 during the regular season, and while Sunday's big win has quickly become a very special memory, Shackelford shares that this season has been full of moments and new traditions that he already misses.
I think I'm going to say my first Wiener Wednesday with the team. That was first Wiener Wednesday. Oh, wearing the Wiener Wednesday jerseys, those are my favorite uniforms I've ever worn.
Now, Shackelford and many other players are off to begin the college baseball season, but the season with the Berries has Shackelford hoping that he hasn't seen the last of Saskatoon.
But I'm excited, sad to leave the city of Saskatoon. It's treated me so well, so hopefully might come back here next summer. We'll see.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Saskatoon gymnast is working toward his Olympic debut. CTV's Laura Woodward introduces us to the athlete hoping to turn a lifelong dream into reality.
A little chalk and a lot of repetition. 20-year-old Jordan Carroll has his sights set on the 2028 Olympic Games.
Oh, it's been my dream since I was a little kid. Like I've been saying this all the time, but I've actually had dreams of me competing in the Olympics, and I'll wake up and be like, I was just competing in the Olympics. I just did a great routine for the Olympic crowd.
And Olympic dreams run in Carroll's family. His sister represented Canada in artistic swimming at the Paris Games, and his mom competed in diving at the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona.
I saw my sister go, I've heard stories of my mom going, and I want to make it my own story.
His gymnastics story started when he was 6, and coach Marco Spikis has been by his side.
Sometimes I feel like the second parent because you spend so much hours, especially in the young age.
And those years of training are paying off. Carroll recently won golds in pommel horse at the Commonwealth Games, putting up a score of 15, a personal best.
Me and my coach have been pushing for 15s for a really long time, and this is the first time I ever got it. And to do it on that big stage, it felt perfect.
Carroll is looking to ride that wave of momentum, getting ready for World Trials next month in Montreal, hoping to earn a spot at the World Championships, with the Olympics as the ultimate goal, not just for Carroll, but for the coach who's watched him grow up in this gym.
I have goosebumps. So that's mean everything, because that's when you work with athletes, they have that potential, and that's your biggest goal.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan took home 24 gold medals at the Special Olympics Canada Summer Games in Medicine Hat. Gymnast Dylan Dovell won 5 gold medals, and powerlifter Annalise Brown earning another 4. Jacob Carr has the story of another golden athlete who achieved something every golfer dreams of.
Those euphoric reactions came after Taylor Carter sunk a 135-yard hole in one shot on the 16th hole in Medicine Hat over the weekend. And those joining in on the celebrations included his nephew and caddy, Ashton.
I asked my nephew what club I should use, and he said 9-iron. And after I grabbed it and lined up, I I felt really confident with the club, and I just went for it.
According to Carter's mother, Charlene, this isn't the first time that Taylor has accomplished the very rare feat of a hole-in-one.
And he had plastic clubs, because that's how Taylor started his little golf career, and he ended up with a hole-in-one on a par 3 when he was 4 years old.
Sinking an eagle on a par 3 at just 4 years old, one might say Carter was destined for success, and the now 33-year-old says the clip of the shot has gone viral on the internet.
It's been really insane to see that many people commenting and people going bananas as much as I did, and seeing TSN and Special Canada post it.
Executive Director of Special Olympics Saskatchewan, Rayanne Holayan, told CTV News that she had never seen a shot of the magnitude completed on such a big stage.
That was absolutely all the fans cheering from Special Olympics Saskatchewan about the hole-in-one as well. Then not only did he get a hole-in-one, which is an incredible achievement, he brings home the gold medal.
Overall, Saskatchewan won a total of 64 medals at the Games, 25 gold, 19 silver, and 20 bronze. Carter says bringing home the gold was the icing on the proverbial cake of his now infamous shot. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Hundreds of classic and custom vehicles line the streets of downtown Saskatoon over the weekend. Show and Shine organizers estimate more than 30,000 people attended the event, which stretched across 14 blocks. More than 40 car club participated in the event, billed as one of the largest outdoor car shows in Western Canada.
My dad actually brought me every year to Show and Shine when I was a kid, so now I'm seeing families pass on that tradition, and I really love it.
This is the 44th year of the Show and Shine Downtown Car Show. This year's Saskatoon Folk Fest is being called a success. The 47th annual festival brought 11 cultural pavilions together under one roof at Prairieland Park. It came to a close Saturday night after 2 days of performances, traditional food, and cultural experiences. This year's festival featured the pavilions representing Bangladesh, China, India, Iran, Nepal, Nigeria, Norway, Pakistan, and the Philippines, as well as Vietnam. The Latino pavilion also represents 17 countries.
All the entertainment going on from yesterday and today was really, really enlightening. Different country, different cultures.
Oh, I really like Folk Fest because it's all the cultures coming together as one, and the performance and the food.
I wasn't sure with it being smaller than some years how it was going to be, but it looks like people are having a good time and actually showing up.
Folk Fest has downsized in recent years, going from having pavilions across the city to having it all under one roof. Mother Nature was in a pleasant mood today, providing ideal conditions for a decades-old charity golf tournament.
Somebody's closer.
Radio personality Clayton Croker teeing off Happy Gilmore style at the Share the Spirit Golf Classic. This is the 30th edition of the event, which supports the Greater Saskatoon Catholic School Foundation. The green being raised on the greens at the tournament is important to both the foundation and its presenting sponsor.
We run things like leadership summits for the kids. We supply a lot of the things for religious education because that's not funded by government. Ultimately, we try to fill the gaps that exist between government funding and what kids need.
I want all of them to understand that what it means to be local affairs and supporting each other. But yeah, we want to make a better place for all of us.
144 golfers took to the course today at Holiday Park, raising approximately $35,000. The Saskatoon Forestry Farm Park and Zoo is mourning the loss of one of its grizzly bears. The zoo announcing today that Coda was humanely euthanized following a decline in his health. Coda was a resident of the Saskatoon Zoo for 18 years after being orphaned as a cub in the Jasper area. He lived at the Edmonton and Calgary zoos before being transferred to Saskatoon. The zoo celebrated his and his brother Mastaia's 20th birthday last year. A card will be available for the public to sign at the Kinsman Bear Habitat later this week. Still to come, the clock is ticking as the next round of U.S. tariffs are set to kick in. Also, what doctors are calling a disturbing trend among parents of newborns. A Saskatoon family is being told to stop construction on a nearly completed home after the city found it violated zoning rules. As CTV's Stacey Hine tells us, the family fought the order, but the Development Appeals Board has now sided with the city.
This nearly complete three-story home along University Drive doesn't meet the city's zoning rules. Now, Saskatoon's Development Appeals Board has denied an appeal to allow construction to continue. The city of Saskatoon issued a stop work order after an inspection in May found the home was about 1.5 meters too tall and that it's too wide. Current owners, Curtis and Rochelle Kelm, say they were unaware of the zoning violations. They bought the home a year ago from the estate of developer Carl Miller, who died in a highway collision in 2023. But the violations also went unnoticed by city staff. The city conducted 11 inspections during construction, but none flagged the home's height or width. The Kelms appealed the city's decision to stop construction. They argued bringing the home into compliance would be costly and require demolition, redesign, and reconstruction. They also said the plans were in place before they bought the home. The city said as-built drawings show the ceiling's heights at each level differ from the approved plans. In its decision, the appeals board notes that any error or omission during inspections does not relieve the property owner of the responsibility to comply with the zoning bylaw. The board received 14 letters on the appeal, with some in support and others opposed. The Nutana and Varsity View community associations were among those opposed. The board found the evidence did not show a significant impact on neighbors' privacy, sunlight, or use of their properties, but it said allowing the home to exceed those limits would defeat the intent of the zoning bylaw and denied the appeal. The Kelms denied to comment, saying they're considering their next steps. The decision can be appealed within 30 days to the Saskatchewan Municipal Board. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
We're now less than 48 hours until proposed new U.S. tariffs will be imposed on a variety of Canadian products unless a deal is reached between the two countries. Today, Prime Minister Mark Carney said he will be talking to Donald Trump before Wednesday's deadline. Mike Couture has the latest from Washington.
Trade talks went to a whole new level and a new location today as both Canadian and American representatives met here at the Department of Commerce.
How are talks going with Canada?
Both sides said little as they arrived for what turned out to be a meeting that lasted an hour and 45 minutes. That's the longest the two sides have sat together in recent days, reflecting the, quote, delicate and intense nature of the negotiations as described by Prime Minister Mark Carney earlier today. A Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick was also at the meeting. Given the prominent role in directing the president's protectionist policy, it's perhaps a signal that the two sides are preparing to present both the president, Donald Trump, and Prime Minister Mark Carney with the layout of a possible deal. As we had reported last week, the hope was to put something on Trump's desk either today or tomorrow.
We're going to continue working. Our job is not yet done.
Now, earlier in the day, Carney said he and Trump will be having a call to discuss the looming tariff deadline.
We'll have opportunities over the next 48 hours to discuss in more detail as the negotiations go forward, and I think that's the best forum.
There is a sense of urgency as well. We're less than 48 hours from 50% tariffs being applied to a wide swath of Canadian imports into the United States. It's something that the Canadian Chamber of Commerce said would be devastating for small and medium-sized businesses. Mike Couture, CTV News, Washington.
Hydro utilities in Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador have reached a non-binding agreement to share energy from Labrador with the help of the federal government. The sweeping tentative deal outlines plans for Hydro-Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador Hydro to divvy up power from Labrador's Churchill Falls generation station and launch new hydro, wind and transmission projects worth more than $50 billion. If finalized, the proposal would realize a long-sought goal in Newfoundland and Labrador to transmit power through Quebec to markets in the United States. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to attack Oman if it interferes with American efforts in the Strait of Hormuz. During an interview with Fox News today, Trump warned that if Oman, quote, gets in the way, the U.S. will bomb the country. Trump's comments come as the 60-day window for peace talks between the U.S. and Iran closed today without an agreement. Iran says its talks with Oman regarding the Strait of Hormuz are complex but ongoing. Trump also said today his administration has set up a direct back channel with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard, but that he's in no rush to reach a deal. Doctors are warning about what they are calling a disturbing trend. Parents refusing an injection of vitamin K for their newborns at birth. It's been common practice in Canada since the early 1960s and helps with clotting to prevent brain bleeds. Heather Wright reports.
Do you believe that babies have a vitamin K deficiency?
Slick videos like this one are all over the internet explaining to parents the alleged risks associated with the vitamin K shot.
This is interference with long-term consequences they never talk about.
Doctors say this type of misinformation is leading to an increase in parents refusing the shot, which is given to babies right after birth to help with blood clotting.
The incidence seems to be increasing, which is why there's concerns.
Dr. Eugene Ng is a neonatologist at Sunnybrook Hospital in Toronto and says because babies are born with a vitamin K deficiency, a shot of the nutrient is given to prevent a rare but potentially life-threatening condition known as vitamin K deficiency bleeding, which can lead to brain bleeds and long-term brain damage.
Late vitamin K deficiency bleeding is associated with a 3 times higher risk of intracranial hemorrhages, meaning that it's bleeding into the brain. And bleeding into the brain is a severe complication.
Those opposed to the vitamin K shot list a host of reasons why, including concerns about ingredients, preservatives, and debunked links to leukemia.
This is a well-established, much-needed, very routine biomedical procedure.
Timothy Caulfield is a professor at the University of Alberta and says parents who refuse the vitamin K shot are also less likely to vaccinate their children. He says both are examples of the power of health misinformation.
That sort of personal, urgent message from an influencer that you might relate to can be more persuasive than the authoritative voice that's expressing what the science actually says.
It's hard to know just how many Canadian parents are declining this shot, but a new study from Sweden found from 2006 to 2021, the refusal rate more than doubled. Doctors say there is an oral alternative for any parents who are hesitant to give their babies a shot. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A 1-year-old grizzly bear is back in his enclosure after escaping at the Calgary Zoo. It happened around 7:30 yesterday morning before the zoo had opened to the public. The zoo says its emergency procedures were activated as soon as staff discovered Fitz had left his habitat. Specialized teams then mobilized the young grizzly and moved him into a secure area. The rest of the zoo opened shortly after 9 a.m., but the Wild Canada area remained closed while staff inspected the habitat and surrounding area. The zoo is now reviewing exactly how Fitz managed to get out. Tense moments over the weekend for 2 paramedics in Hawaii as Hurricane Lala brought heavy rain and flooding. Video from the Hawaii National Guard shows the pair standing on their truck after it became trapped in raging floodwaters. National Guard troops were able to rescue them just before the truck was washed downstream. The rain and wind from the hurricane was strong enough to sweep 100 homes off their foundations. More than 200,000 homes and businesses were without power. In Italy, thieves have made off with 4 paintings by a Renaissance master that are worth tens of millions of dollars. The artworks by Antonello de Messinina were stolen from the museum in the artist's hometown in Sicily. It happened in a matter of minutes Saturday evening while thousands of people were on the street celebrating a religious festival. Officials say the paintings are too famous to be sold and could possibly be used as bargaining chips or collateral in criminal dealings. The museum's video surveillance system and alarm had been working at the time. An internal investigation is underway to see if any staff were involved. All right, Jeff, things are going to heat up for the week.
Yes, they are. Now, sizzling temperatures? No, but still much warmer than we have had and above seasonal temperatures for many parts of the province. Parts of British Columbia, that will be sizzling, and they don't need the sizzle, quite frankly. But let's take a quick look and see what we've got going on right now in Saskatoon. 19 degrees, similar temperature, but a bit more sunshine in the Battlefords. 20 in Prince Albert, and you can certainly see Prince Albert is windier than Saskatoon and the Battlefords at the moment. Saskatoon's almanac, our daytime high today, 21 degrees, so still below seasonal by about 4 degrees. 36, though, that was the record warm temperature from 1949, the record cold temperature, a chilly 1 degree from 1910 and 1950. The sun came up at 5:53, and it's going to go down at 8:27.
Coming up, a trip back in time and what it holds for the future. We'll look at how an old machine is getting new life.
City looking for a change. Tuesday on Your Morning, Prince Albert's mayor on a new city nickname, plus an update on a new home for the Raiders.
All right, welcome back. Taking a look at our sky cam shot here, and just a few clouds out there, a lot of blue out there, and it's been a relatively sunny day and, you know, pretty pleasant by most descriptions. But let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot and see if there's any flies in the ointment, and there are in southern Saskatchewan. Line of storms, basically you can certainly see where that jet stream is sort of swooping along, and we've got a cold front that's triggering a number of storms in the Southland. Of course, we do have some of these areas that are just being, you know, the radar's being tricked. So that line of storms is fairly thin, and so it's not really of a huge worry right now in terms of impacting other parts of the province. 19 degrees in Saskatoon and the Battlefords, 20 in the Prince Albert region right now. Hot spots in the province, well, a tie at Valmarie and Rockland, both at 25 degrees today. Spiritwood, the cold spot at 4. Currently, it is 19 degrees in Lloydminster, 20 in Swift Current and Estevan, 18 in Moose Jaw, Regina, and Yorkton. Making our way into central parts of the province, and a pretty not much of a range. It's a pretty straightforward situation. Either 19 or 20 degrees, all the locations on this part of our map. What's it like up north? Well, a little cooler, certainly true in Collins Bay, where it's 11 degrees, 16 in Stony Rapids, South End, and Sandy Bay, Island Falls. It gets up to 21 in Buffalo Narrows, 19 in La Ronge. And down south, temperatures in the low 20s, low to mid 20s. Coronach's at 24 right now, 23 in Maple Creek. But towards the eastern side of the province, as is often the case, the temperatures do drop off. It's just 16 right now in Broadview, 18 in Indian Head and Melville. Now we'll take a look at our futurecast. So the computer modeling indicating that we don't anticipate a very windy Tuesday at all. And in terms of precipitation, not a lot going on. And if it does show up, you can certainly see it's isolated in nature, maybe a bit more intensity up north. Right now in the far south of the province, down around the Console area, there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, but it's a very small warning at the moment. You can certainly see a bit more activity expected in parts of Alberta. There's a big watch box in southern Alberta for thunderstorms. Here we go with our northern numbers for tomorrow and sky conditions. There's a bit of a mix there, but temperatures in the low to mid 20s for tomorrow for the north. A little warmer in the west central part of the province, mainly sunny skies in many locations, but Rosetown expected to be cloudy, but temperatures in the mid to high 20s, getting up to around 28 degrees in and around these locations in the southwestern part of the province. Mainly sunny skies, mainly sunny in Yorkton and Regina, a bit more cloud in Moose Jaw and Estevan, but temperatures certainly around Estevan, or rather Regina and Moose Jaw on the warmer side, a little cooler in Yorkton and Estevan. And temperatures hanging around that 24-degree mark for east central Saskatchewan with mainly sunny skies on Tuesday. Dropping down to 7 degrees in the Battlefords, fog patches expected to show up, mainly sunny skies tomorrow, 27 degrees. And then the 7-day outlook for the Battlefords, as you can see, temperatures warming up, but certainly to above seasonal values. That's certainly true of Saturday and Sunday, and 23 on Monday. For Prince Alberton area, a few clouds with some fog patches showing up overnight, 6 degrees, 24 tomorrow with mainly sunny skies, a southwesterly wind at 20 clicks, and then temperatures basically hanging around that 25 or 24-degree mark right through to Monday, and a chance of showers on Sunday and Monday. Sunday, it comes with a risk of thunderstorms as well. Saskatoon's overnight temperature, 6 degrees, a slight chance of showers, some fog patches showing up. Tomorrow's high, 26 degrees, so above seasonal temperatures tomorrow, and then the temperatures don't really flatline, but they're pretty close to that as we make our way the rest of the 7 days of the forecast. Temperatures basically around 27 degrees, and then a chance of showers, the risk of a thunderstorm on Sunday. Actress Hayden Panettiere has died. She was best known for her roles in the TV series Heroes and Nashville. Panettiere also appeared in two Scream movies, Remember the Titans and Ice Princess, among others. Earlier this year, she released a memoir sharing her battles with addiction and depression. Panеттiere's father announced her death late last night. No cause of death was given. She was 36.
But you're in danger. You just have to trust me. Fine.
It was another winning weekend at the box office for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Peter Parker's latest adventures have now surpassed the $2 billion mark at the global box office. Here in North America, the movie brought in another $70 million in its third weekend to maintain its #1 position. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is also sailing strong, staying in second place with $23.2 million in ticket sales. The End of Oak Street debuted in third with $21 million. And Jan Arden tied the knot on the weekend. The Calgary-based singer and actor wed Icelandic author and activist Thordis Elva on Saturday. Arden joked they plan to repeat the whole thing next weekend. The couple got engaged over New Year's Eve and have been detailing their wedding plans in recent months on Arden's podcast.
All right, Jeff, the photos have been rolling in all weekend. What did you choose for Pick of the Day?
Well, we've got a few here that are quite nice, and we want to share those with everyone. This one comes to us from Anne from Saskatoon, but Anne tells us these are sailboats on the north end of Blackstrap Lake on Saturday morning, adding, it was a cold, crisp morning, and the fish were biting. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Anne. Next one from regular contributors Brad and Pam Howe, taken this morning, and they write, X marks the Humboldt Lake. Yeah, there you can see the X in the sky, the two contrails there. So thank you, Brad and Pam. And finally, from Rob Westhouse in Saskatoon, Rob says, dodging storm cells south of Tisdale. The living skies were looking angry Sunday, August 16th. So in other words, yesterday. So yes, those are some nasty looking skies there. And thank you for sharing those photos. And if you'd like to send some our way, you can send it to CFQC at CFQC News at CTV.ca. And please put Pick of the Day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, preserving a piece of the past, how antique equipment is holding purpose for today's producers.
Morning Minute, presented by Sound Impressions Hearing Center.
Hearing aids work better when you know what you're doing. And Cassandra Grabowski at Sound Impressions, well, she knows that firsthand. Cassandra, give us some quick tips.
Okay, you need to be prepared to wear these hearing aids every day, all day long. We will guide you through. There's a trial period. You get 101 days to try these hearing aids out, but we will give you step-by-step success.
Perfect. And obviously, 101 days doesn't work if they're sitting on the bench. But it all starts with the correct diagnosis and something that fits your ear.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We need to know the type, severity of hearing loss, and what hearing aid is going to fit your ear best.
Perfect. And these things have technology like we can't even understand, right?
Oh gosh, Bluetooth, streaming, they're awesome now.
All right, there you go. Don't take it from me. You find Cassandra and her team at soundimpressions.ca. Your Morning Saskatchewan airs weekdays 6 to 9 on CTV and Crave.
Father and son duo in Kipling are recounting Saskatchewan's rich farming history. They've restored a threshing machine that's more than a century old. Over the weekend, they showed it off at the town's first ever threshing bee. Sierra D'Souza Butts has their story.
Peter DeJager has always had a passion for antiques, describing it as a hobby for him and his father. His recent purchase, a 1921 McCormick Deering thrashing machine.
We had old tractors, but got nothing to run them, so I wanted to do a threshing machine.
The old machine hasn't operated in 90 years. However, DeJager says he was up for the challenge.
Today is actually the first time I ran anything through it. So at first I was a bit nervous, but I am very surprised and glad that nothing broke. And it's all in one piece still.
After hearing about the recent project, the Kipling and District Historical Society decided to host the town's first ever Threshing Bee, featuring antique tractors, historical buildings, and activities for families to enjoy.
It's really nice. Like, you get to learn about how farming works and stuff. And it's also my first time here.
Not all the young people of today don't realize how the farmers did things years ago. You know, and it's history. It's really something.
Along with the museum's other attractions, the threshing machine helps educate people on how farming was in the 1920s compared to now.
Years ago, they would have had steam engines because the tractors weren't available then, and probably horses pulling the racks. But he had the farmers up top with the pitchforks pitching sheaves into the threshing machine and the straw blowing out.
Crediting this year's event to D. Jagger, the community plans to continue hosting an annual Threshing Bee in the coming years.
It's more of a community thing, just so everyone can come together, have fun.
Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Kipling.
When we come back, a Saskatchewan native hits a home run and celebrating those who pitched in to make baseball in Saskatchewan what it is today.
Here's what's happening in our community. 306 Elite Dance Company presents Tenacious, its 10th anniversary celebration. That's August 21st and 22nd at the Broadway Theatre. The Persons Living with AIDS Network of Saskatchewan is hosting its inaugural Teeing Up for Care charity golf tournament. It's set for Friday, August 28th at Moon Lake Golf and Country Club. You can submit your community event by visiting our website and clicking on Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Okay, it's time to take a look and see what's going on tomorrow. And oh, look at that. Temperatures are warming up. Oh, I just want to warm my hands. 28 degrees in Kindersley, 27 at Outlook and Lloydminster. Temperatures drop off to more seasonal values as we make our way towards central and eastern parts of this part of our map. And it actually drops off a little bit too much in Melfort and Hudson Bay and Wynyard. It's still pleasant, but not where we would typically be this time of year. But let's make our way down south. Does it warm up? Yes, it does. Flirting with 30 in Leader and Maple Creek and a few other places, 28 in Coronach. But towards the eastern side of the province, a little cooler, but all in all, temperatures are on the warm up as we make our way into the rest of the week. And that includes places like La Flèche, 28 degrees, partly cloudy skies tomorrow, winds out of the southeast at 15 kilometers an hour. And La Flèche is one of the places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
A Saskatchewan native is already making an impact for the Atlanta Braves organization.
Cracked out to deep center field. That's over to Brunshead. That ball is gone!
Carter Beck, the 26th overall selection by the Atlanta Braves, hit his first home run in professional baseball over the weekend as a member of the Augusta Green Jackets. It was a 3-run blast to center, with the team picking up a 9-6 win over the Charleston River Dogs. The Green Jackets are the single-A affiliate of the Braves. Beck was raised in Cardiff and played for the Saskatoon Berries for a couple of summers. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are no longer in first place in the CFL West Division after losing to Hamilton 26-19 on the weekend.
We got to have some stops defensively there. Quarterback change, we're prepared for. We got to execute. Offensively, we struggled. Special teams, we took some crucial penalties there. So penalties, turnovers, you can't lose those battles within the game, and we lost those. So that's bad ball, man. And you can't play bad ball in professional football.
It wasn't all bad news for the Riders. Kicker Alex Hale, who has been under scrutiny for making just one field goal from 40 yards or more, went 4 for 4 in Hamilton, with 3 of those kicks coming from 40 or more yards. The Riders will return to practice this week, preparing for a Sunday clash with the Lions in BC. Gas prices are once again to blame for pushing the inflation rate up to 3% in July. Morella Fernandez has more.
The rate was 2.8% in June, and most economists had expected it to hit 2.9% last month. With the Mideast conflict still unresolved, the price of oil has been volatile. That meant paying more to fill up the gas tank and to travel, with jet fuel spiking as well. Statistics Canada has also released inflation rates for major cities, but warned they are based on small samples. The rate of inflation for Whitehorse was the highest at 5.5%. Halifax was 4.8%. St. John, New Brunswick, 4.5%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 72.08. West Texas Intermediate moved up over $2 to 84.50 U.S. a barrel. Western Canadian Select is up to 64.48, and the TSX dropped 62 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up, stepping up to the plate for those who have made baseball better in the province. Then a golden moment for a memorable piece.
Hey there, it's Derek Chesney here with the Saskatoon Crimestoppers. This week on Crimestoppers Unmasked, we're asking for the public's help in identifying numerous suspects involved in 2 break-and-enters in the city's south end. These 2 incidents took place on July 23rd and July 29th in the early morning hours at a restaurant in the 3000 block of Preston Avenue South. On both occasions, the suspects gained access to the restaurant by prying open the rear alley door. On July 23rd, 3 suspects took the establishment's safe, which contained $31,000, and carted it away in a yellow children's buggy attached to a bike. On the second incident, a few days later, 2 suspects this time took the cash register with $700 inside. At both incidents, the suspects' faces were covered and appeared to leave in different directions after exiting the building. Do you have information about this crime or who is responsible? If so, please give us a call at 1-800-222-8477, or you can leave a tip online at SaskatoonCrimestoppers.com. We pay cash rewards of up to $2,000 for information that leads to an arrest. Tips are completely anonymous. We don't want your name, we just want your assistance. Saskatoon Crimestoppers. Do your part to stop crime in our community.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up tonight at 7, starting with American Ninja Warrior.
2 hours of it.
2 hours of it, you are correct. Well, a golden item has just sold at auction. It's the one that Estelle Getty held onto in various scenes of the Golden Girls. This purse was expected to sell for about $15,000 at auction, but it ended up going for $192,000.
What?
It's the most expensive Golden Girls item Julian's Auctions has ever sold.
I'd like to know what number 2 on that list was, but $192,000? Amazing. Way to go.
Yeah. All right. You had a very busy weekend and you were in the Battlefords.
Yes, I was. I was happy to once again MC the annual Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame induction dinner. Yes, that was the tradition. The newest inductees were piped in for this, the 41st edition of the ceremony. A full house was on hand at the Alex Dillaball Centre in Battleford to honor and celebrate those who have left their mark on Saskatchewan baseball on and off the diamond. 10 individuals, 3 teams, and 1 family were inducted this year. This annual dinner is also a major fundraiser for the Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Battleford.
Looked like a lovely evening.
It was a lovely evening, and it was great to hear a lot of great stories about the very rich history we have of baseball. And it was interesting. The Carter Beck game was being watched by, well, members of the Beck family, because they're a big baseball family while they were there, so that was kind of nutty.
That makes sense. They got to support the community and support their relatives
their families as well. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So thanks to everybody, Bev and Jane and everybody up in Battleford.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Bye now.